Hello beautiful people, welcome to the channel. Reverend Debbie here, hope you're doing well. Today's video, when the narcissist becomes physically abusive. Now, I saw this post this morning as I was scrolling through Facebook, and I belong to a couple of groups on Facebook about avoiding toxic relationships, how to deal with them, so on and so on. So this specific group, and this person posted anonymously. So her message reads as follows. My husband slapped me yesterday. This is the first time he did that. All the other times we are in a heated argument, he choked me. So after he slapped me yesterday, we didn't talk about it because we were preparing for a dinner we had to host. Before going to bed, he said he was sorry. It was his worst day and he would never do that again. He was looking at his phone while he said these things. I said nothing and slept. Today, I didn't want to leave the bed. The slap is slowly sinking in and I can't stop crying. Now he is acting like nothing happened. He is mocking and teasing me. What should I do? I'm scared of leaving. I'm scared of being alone. I truly loved him with all my heart. I still love him. No matter how hard things are, I'm hoping we will be happy someday. I'm equally depressed that he is physically hurting me. No, I can't report this abuse. I can't spoil a person's life and be okay with it. It will eat me. After all, I loved him and married him. I want him to be happy and healthy. I promised him that before we got married, and I will stand by it. How do you prepare yourself for a heartbreak? How do you manage the fear of being lonely and alone? How do you tell yourself that you will ever see or talk to this person? I want to ask an important question. He slapped me because I was crying and wanting to leave the house. He says he slapped me because of something I did. Am I at fault? Wow. Wow, no. Whoever you are not at fault. This man, you should have left a while ago, but I understand how difficult it is to leave when there is a trauma bond involved. And I will link some of the videos I've done about trauma bonds into the description box below so you can have a look at what that is. She says it's the first time he slapped her. Normally he chokes her. Now, the vast majority of unaliving by a partner, a male, committing that on a woman, which is known as femicide, is through choking. It is the easiest way that they can unalive us. Before going to bed, he said he was sorry. Now, don't forget, they'd had to cook this dinner and then host this dinner, and he only said it to her when they went to bed. And he said he'd never do that again, and it was his worst day. I think it was her worst day, and he would never do that again, but he's already tried to choke you before. He was looking at his phone while he said these things. I said nothing and slept. So he sat looking at his phone and he's saying this to you. He's probably reading off some sort of script or doing worse. You know, I know that these kind of abusive men can look at awful websites and porn and other dating sites, OnlyFans, whatever. So for him to be looking at his phone while he was apologizing to you, first of all, it's not really an apology. Secondly, it's no respect. It's a complete lack of respect for you. He puts you down here and himself here. Today, I didn't want to leave the bed. The slap is slowly sinking in and I can't stop crying. Now he's acting like nothing happened and he's mocking and teasing me because they do. Because he actually blamed you for slapping you, which is DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse offender. He basically is making fun of you for him slapping you and saying, you know, don't be so ridiculous, it was only a slap. That leads to other, and the fact that you've already had this experience of him choking you, it just goes to show the kind of person he actually is. She says, she's hoping, no matter how hard things are, she's hoping that they'll be happy someday, that it's not going to happen. he will continue to do things like that because you are allowing him to do it by staying there. Him apologizing is not really an apology, and somebody looking at their phone while they're apologizing is not an apology. She married him and promised before they got married that she will stand by it. But I would like to know what the vows were that they said to each other, because, you know, in sickness and in health, to love, honor and obey, all those things, do they really mean things these days? No, we have a choice as women to now ignore and get away from people who do that. And because we are now autonomous beings, well, most of us, some of us can buy homes, work, and so on. We don't have to rely on a man to look after us. She says she can't report the abuse as she can't spoil a person's life and be okay with it. He's spoiling your life. He's spoiled your life. You are walking on eggshells because you know that if you do something, he may well slap or choke you, or worse. Because it never gets easier and it never gets better. The violence only escalates. So I say, report the abuse. So what if it ruins his life? He's ruined your life. What he's doing is wrong. It's illegal. It's against the law. How do you prepare yourself for a heartbreak? How do you manage the fear of being lonely and alone? Okay, well, the heartbreak part of ending a relationship, we all have to go through, and it is a process. Again, especially when linked to a trauma bond, which this woman probably is because of what he has done and the fact that she's still there with him. Fear of being lonely. I've been on my own for 3 years. It's the best time of my life. Just no man in my life, doing what I want to do, being who I want to be, has made me a healthier, happier person. I have lost weight. I am fit. I am writing. I am doing these videos, and I'm studying psychology. I'm going to places and doing things that he never wanted to do. So being alone, you're not really alone. She wants to ask an important question. He slapped me because I was crying and wanted to leave the house. I'd love to know what the reason was that she wanted to leave the house in the first place, but she was crying. You don't slap somebody because they're crying. You hold them, you hug them, you hold them tight and say, what's wrong? How can I help you? How can I fix you? This person has no empathy. And he says he slapped her because of something she did. That does not justify slapping somebody. If somebody did something that was horrendous, go to the police. But slapping them because they did something wrong, and I'd love to know what this wrong thing was. And no, she's not at fault. My advice to her was change the locks, take his stuff, put it outside, let him collect it. Or if you can, leave. I did also recommend that she contacts a women's aid, women's support group, that she can speak to and find out what her options are. But for your own sanity, if you are in this place, leave. Get out. It's hard. I know. It's a challenge. I know. There's fear of the unknown. But believe me, once you're through that, you will be in such a better place and you'll be happy again. I hope this helps somebody out there, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Hope to see you next time. Blessed be.